Okay, good evening YouTube. Welcome back to this next episode of FPL Family with me, Lee, and this is Sam. Bit different for you tonight, guys. Bit different.
It's a Monday.
It's a Monday for a start, which feels very unusual. Bank holiday Monday here in the UK. That weird period of time between Christmas and New Year when genuinely I'm not ever really sure what sort of day it is. I don't really know. Until you said that it's Monday, I was like, oh yeah, it is Monday.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a weird period of time.
Well, we both did that yesterday, didn't we? We got up and went,
Yeah, what day is it?
Where-
It's odd.
Oh, it's a stream night.
Yeah.
Oh no, we might as well wait till the game weekend.
Yeah.
We'll do it tomorrow.
And
So
we are a
confused.
little bit different for you tonight because we're going to have a bit of a watch-along in the second half of the Newcastle versus Manchester United game, which we've just been watching the first half. What's your kind of immediate take, your hot take on what's happened? This is not what we expected from Manchester United. Certainly those of us that free hit this week. I'll talk about that a bit later on. And one of the main reasons for doing so was to get on this Man United fixture and captain Ronaldo, as I have done this week. You haven't. We'll talk more about that later on. But it's not looking great for Ronaldo captainers based on that first half. They've got to change something at half-time.
Yeah, Newcastle playing really well, actually. Callum Wilson going off will be a problem. That will be a problem to them. They'll really
that's
miss
just
him.
happened. Talk us through. That's just happened. Looks like a calf injury, maybe. Yeah.
Not
That's
ideal.
a reasonably badish one for him.
Yeah, and when they try and play on and then they still have to go off, you know that it's
a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a problem. At the end there, he couldn't even run for the ball. There was the Sky Sports commentators were like, he can't even go for that ball. So
thankfully, Max is on one tonight and playing incredibly well.
Listen, every now and again, he has one of those games, doesn't he? He's consistently a pretty good player, but every now and again, he goes to this level that is just unplayable. Yeah. And tonight, he's right up there. And don't get me wrong, I think United are playing into their hands. I don't think United are doing a very good job of defending him or just making a fist of the game, frankly. They're losing it massively in the midfield.
They've set it up wrong, it feels like. They're set up
the
in the
midfield's
wrong...
just not pressing. It's just and if Ranić's whole thing is about counter pressing, it's just not happening. I just saw a tweet from Tom Williams, who I did the podcast with today. So if you haven't checked out the official FPL podcast from, I'll say this week, but from this 2 days between now and the next game week. Yeah, it only came out like a few hours ago. We recorded it this morning. Tom Williams was on there with me. And his tweet says, well, if Ranić is all about the counter-pressing, then the good news is that United have figured out the first bit of that, which is conceding possession. They're good at that, but they haven't figured out the pressing piece, which I have to agree based on what we've seen in the first half. Well, listen, let's say hello to a few people. Guys, get in the chat. Let's give us a hello and let us know what you made of that first half, particularly if you're a Ronaldo captainer, because apart from a few huffs and puffs, a few bits of bad body language, I didn't see anything.
He doesn't look.
That suggests to me that I'm going to get any points from him. He doesn't look happy, but then the amount of times
it takes one moment for Ronaldo, though.
Well, it does, but the team around him is not. It's not doing the business tonight, from what I'm seeing. They're missing easy passes. They're not pressing in midfield. It's not working for him. So Ranić has got his first, I think, real big test as a Man United manager. Let's see what he's made of. But while we dwell on that, Sam, let's talk about. Let's see what you guys are saying in the chat. Aaron Chen is here. How are we doing, Aaron? Very nice to see you. Very nice to see you. He says, I totally relate. I lose all sense of time between Christmas and New Year.
No idea what's going on.
I've got no idea what day it is. I don't know what game week we're in. It could be anything.
To be honest, I think because we went away as well last week. Last week. Is it still this week? No, it's last week. That threw me as well because when you go on holiday, you lose track of days as well, don't you? Then we got back and suddenly it was like, it's Christmas Eve. Like, it's been chaotic.
Absolutely crazy. Crazy since we come back as well, actually, isn't it? Crazy since we come back.
Everything's been just a little bit bonkers, to be honest.
Man. We've had to have PCR tests since we've come back from Lapland. We've had a couple of positive tests in the family. I'm one of them. I've got no symptoms whatsoever, but I'm currently positive. So here we are. Who knows where we go from here? I'll tell you where we go from here. Absolutely nowhere for 6 days.
Well, you don't.
I don't. You can.
You
but
sit
I go
and drink
absolutely
your beer.
nowhere. Unless you catch it from me. But I think you give it to me.
Well, I
think you give it to me. You were coughing and spluttering a few weeks ago.
I was not. Have you seen my negative test results? Thank you very much.
You've got negative lateral flow tests. That's absolutely
I've got
right.
negative PCRs as well. I think you're fine.
Yes.
I'm absolutely fine.
So anyway, I'll be going
keep the
nowhere.
blame firmly in your own front door. 6
or 7 days, and those of you in the UK will attest to that. It is absolutely everywhere.
You've done 4 days anyway.
COVID is absolutely everywhere. Let's see who else is in. Brandon Short is in. How are we doing? Very nice to see you, Brandon. Josh Oram is here. Hey, Josh. How are we doing? Matthew Wilkinson. I called it off my wife, so good luck, Sam. Yeah, exactly, yeah. Well, the reason we're kind of sitting here together and I'm not isolating is because the first PCR test I had came back inconclusive.
You are isolating. Let's be clear.
Yeah.
You're not leaving the house.
No, but I'm not in a separate room to you, I think is what I'm saying.
Well, yeah, but we can't separate Max.
No, exactly. Yeah, it's very difficult, isn't it? It's very difficult. Josh is here. He's saying FPL is horrid without Liverpool playing. I hope they go big versus Leicester. And we'll talk about that a bit later on after the Manchester United game because I want to hear from you Salah sellers. And you are one of them. You're a Salah seller. What are you going to do now for game week 20? Maybe not so much 21 because it's Chelsea and it's away and it's a difficult game. And then as we know from game week 22, he's off to the African Cup of Nations for a few weeks, so he's got a few blanks there. But that Leicester City game looks so good now, given they've just been tanked by Man City. So Salah sellers, I want to know what you're doing about getting him back in, if indeed you are getting him back in for game week 20. Miena Sidhom is he's here. How are you doing, Miena? He was first in, by the way, first comment.
Way.
First one in the live chat, Miena. Nice to see you. Andrew Yee, nice to see you, mate. Very good to see you in the live chat. Jansky is. I haven't seen Jansky for ages. He says, hello from Finland. Well, Jansky, we had a great time.
What a beautiful country you live in.
Beautiful, beautiful country. Freezing cold. Like you would not believe. Freezing cold. But it's nice to see you, mate.
I was quite all right. I've got some very, very nice quality ski gloves.
What was the temperature on the Saturday?
-22.
Oh, my God.
I think it might have actually got to -23. And the guide was saying that the week before or 2 weeks before it got to -39 where they
mental.
were. Ooh,
Absolutely
22
mental.
was enough.
Goodness me.
It was enough. It was
me.
beautiful. It was such a great time.
Really good. FPL Shorts is in. He's saying AFCON definitely on, ? Well.
Best bit, I've sold Salah.
Apparently it's on. Yasser Ali is in. He says Jota to be captain in game week 20. Sam, what we saying?
I mean, yeah, why not?
Yeah. I mean, let's have the conversation now, just before Man United Newcastle comes back on.
Yeah.
You've sold Salah.
Yeah.
You're obviously bricking it because you want him for Leicester in game week 20.
No,
He's going to be very highly captained.
Yeah.
What is your plan to bring him back in, if indeed you are going to bring him back in?
2 words.
Free hit. You're going to free hit in game week 20. So coming up, you've got your team plan for your free hit?
There or thereabouts. The thing is that we were having oh gosh, what day was it? What day did this game week start? Sunday.
We've already established we don't know what day it is.
Yesterday, when it was going absolutely bonkers.
Yes.
Yesterday, when we were all trying to work out what on earth we were doing. We were sat opposite each other on the kitchen table having had lunch.
Yeah.
Told both the kids to just leave us for half an hour.
That was mental, by the way, wasn't it? The game week 19 deadline, we've not had a mental one like that for a while.
It just felt crazy, didn't it?
For a while. We had the official site going down. We had people trying to play free hits. We had people trying to do transfers. Oh, it was carnage.
Yeah, I mean,
Absolute
I
carnage.
made mine at 1:15 because I didn't want to risk any later, and thank goodness that I did that. But we were sat opposite each other and we had a different strategy, didn't we? Because you were looking at your team for game week 19 going, this is appalling. I can't get more than 8. I could take a -8, but then next week looks just as bad. I was looking at my team thinking, it doesn't actually look that bad. If I sell Salah, I could... And then I was looking ahead thinking, we're talking about a game week that's going to start in like a day's time. Is there potential that some of these games, like Leeds, like Villa, go again? Because the isolation periods, as we know, don't just end a day later. It's 10 days and test.
Leeds and Villa definitely felt like it could be off.
So
it's proved.
Yeah, and so I was like thinking, okay, well, if I lose that game if that game goes, then I could sell Watkins quite comfortable this week.
Yeah.
Still have Ramsey. So I was kind of thinking in my head, next week's my free hit week.
Yeah.
I'll sell Salah. I'll have a decent team for this week. I don't really... I'm going to say something I'm going to live to regret, I know. But if I go into game week 21 without Salah against Chelsea, well, so be it.
It's Chelsea away. It's difficult game. You wouldn't expect Salah to go big, but
I wouldn't
it's
captain
Salah.
him either against
probably
Chelsea.
Not. No, probably
so
not.
I'll hide behind the sofa and ride it out and see what happens, because I'll probably captain Son against Watford.
Yes.
So let's go with it. But the plan was always from Sunday lunchtime to free hit this week. And then, of course, the Arsenal game got called off. And I was like, well, that's done now because I got 3 Arsenal players. So being able to free hit them out and then next week make some more changes.
I think that made a lot of people's minds up, actually, that Arsenal-Wolves game being off. And by the way, I saw a great tweet by one of the key guys in the Twitter community, Baker. He runs a podcast. I think it comes out similar time to ours, actually, on like a Sunday/Monday. So check that out, guys, if you haven't already. He made a really good comment on Twitter about the Wolves squad. He was saying that the Wolves squad is only 23 men strong, right? And not filling the full 25 quota. 3 of those are goalkeepers, by the way, so that takes it down to 20 people.
Yeah.
You have to have, I think, 13 outfield players for you to be able to fulfill a game.
Yeah, less than 13 you can't fulfill
Less than 13, you can't. It's off. You can legit call up the Premier League and say, we can't fulfill this game. Now, Wolves have got therefore 20 outfield players. They've currently got 6 injured, and 3 of those 6 are quite long-term injuries. Right. So that means they only realistically need 1 COVID case. 1 or 2 COVID cases.
And we're done.
And they're done. They can legit call off a game. So I wonder whether... I mean, we already know, guys, in case you haven't heard it, right? The Wolves-Arsenal game is off. It's officially off in Gameweek 20. That's not going ahead. So if you've got Arsenal players, you've got Wolves players, you've got to make a decision about these guys. But I wonder whether the Wolves fixtures going forward, and by the way, they play Manchester United next after Arsenal.
In 21.
In 21, which is this time next week. It's next Monday.
Yeah, but the game week's the weekend is Saturday, right?
Yes.
New Year's Day.
So if I've got this right, Game Week 20 should have been Wolves versus Arsenal at the weekend.
No, in the midweek.
In midweek. The Game Week 21 fixture is Wolves-Manchester United, but it's on the Monday.
Of the weekend.
It's the last fixture of the week, of the game week.
Yeah.
I think there is a risk, and I don't want to scare anybody, but I think there's a risk that game doesn't go ahead because Wolves have got one of the thinnest squads.
Well, it depends on their injury situation,
in the Premier League.
If they're 3 injured, non-long-term injuries, come back,
yes,
then the game will be on. Because if they've only got 1 or 2 COVID cases, it's really not the end of the world, is it? The question is, we don't really know how many COVID cases they've got. We don't really know about the state of the injuries. It's a guessing game. I guess, thankfully, with these 2 matches, we got told early about both of them. So we can make plans for Game Week 20, fully aware of what's happening. And hopefully, because we know where we are with these teams in their isolations, we should be okay for knowing about the weekend, I hope. Yeah. So
I'll be honest though, I don't like it.
What?
I just don't. I know
you don't like what?
Obviously, there's bigger and more important things to worry about with COVID than the football, but I hate this, don't you? This uncertainty, this leaving transfers till the last minute, the waiting for news, the site crashing, the chaos that is FPL right now.
Yeah.
And I can't say that on an official show or on an official podcast, but I can say it on my own live stream. Well, it's chaotic and I hate it. I am so old school with FPL. We have 1 game every week. Everyone plays on a Saturday or Sunday, or maybe a Monday if you're really maverick. And we have the whole week to listen to podcasts, gather information, make a judgment call. You make your transfers towards the end of the week, and then everybody plays at the weekend. Done. Finished. Squared it off.
But
I find this period difficult every season because there's games left, right and centre. I don't know what day it is. It's a nightmare. This season, you've got COVID on top of that and all these cancellations and stuff. It is a nightmare. I hate it.
It is a nightmare. But equally, it isn't really anybody's fault. And so this is where I am.
I'm not saying, someone's to blame. I'm not saying we're not all in the same boat because we are. I'm just saying I don't like playing FPL this way.
Well, no, and I totally get it because I'm also like you. I like to forward plan. I like to think, if I make this transfer this week, then I can roll 1, I can make 2 next week. I'll target these players. I'm targeting these teams. We think that there might be some doubles coming up if Krellin and Lego Mane are correct. So you sort of start to look at the teams that you might want to target. But then you find yourself going, okay, but I'm talking about a week in the future.
Yeah.
And there was 103 positive COVID cases in the Premier League in this round of testing.
Yeah.
It's the highest there's ever been.
That's a concern, isn't it?
Ever been.
Yeah.
We are apparently coming towards the end of pandemic stage and towards endemic stage. So the most cases there has ever been.
Ever been in the league.
That means you can't forward plan in the way that we and you guys want to forward plan. Yeah. So you have to change your strategy. And I know that I am coping with that, I think, better than you at the moment. It doesn't bother me in the same way. I just kind of go, it's Felix Haysbee and Cavani and Sancho.
It's like Sancho and Cavani coming on at half time, which To be honest with you, you can't disagree with. I must admit, I thought the midfield three, I thought it was the engine room that needed a little bit of a...
If he takes off Ronaldo here, we'll all go mental.
God, can you imagine if Ronaldo's number's shown? I don't think he will. I think he'll go with the two up front. Wouldn't surprise me to see Greenwood come off, though. Let's have a look. So 17 for 25. I'm not so good with my Man United numbers. Who's 17? We're about to find out. So Sancho jogging on. Here we go. 11 for 21. I'm no good with United numbers.
They'll tell you on the screen in a minute. But yeah, so I think I'm coping with it slightly better. But I am Greenwood and Fred.
Greenwood and Fred off for Sancho and Cavani. Okay, cool.
But I do find it difficult, but I am planning a free hit this week. I do have some thoughts on what my team might look like for 21 as well. But of course, all of that is going to depend on what happens in 20, because I think you can make a plan for the following week, but you have to have some flexibility in that planning.
Do you think that,
which is not my strength, by the way.
No,
me neither.
No, me neither.
We are the most organised of people. Everything is planned within an inch of its life, usually.
Yeah, Aaron Cheney's in. He's saying, Lee, I agree with you. I'm old school. I like having the week to gather information. This is all doing my head in, all this planning. And I get it, right? A lot of people are loving the chaos, right? And actually, this week in particular, I found some opportunity in the chaos with the free hit.
Yeah.
And the free hit actually worked out pretty well for me. We'll talk about our teams and scores and ranks and stuff.
You had a beautiful man in your team.
Beautiful Lucas Moura in my team. What a guy, honestly, what a guy. And now I'm considering bringing him in full time, right?
He always does this to you.
He always does it to me.
Him in.
Brilliant. He's so good. I think I'm still going to try and find... Oh, goodness me. St. Max is in behind again here. He's in behind Varane again.
I absolutely love St. Max.
He's out-tricked himself, St. Max. He's out-tricked himself.
There's something about him as a person and a player.
He's a top player.
I just love him. I wish he would come to Spurs.
He's a top player.
He's just quality.
Away by Varane. United looking as if they're going to be pushing a bit further up the pitch, though, which is going to leave space in behind for St. Maximin. The question is, when that happens, have they got anybody that can keep up with him? In the first half, Callum Wilson can get up there, keep up with St. Max, but... You get the fear for me now is that Newcastle get into those positions, hit them on the counter, and it's like, right, St. Max, you've got to beat two players and bend it in the top corner, which he's completely capable of doing. He's completely capable of doing, but he's got to have worldy moments now rather than him and Callum Wilson attacking it together. But let's see. The game is nicely poised, actually. Ooh. Oh, who's this in behind? Oh, goodness me, St. Max just missed. We're literally just talking about him. Talking about him, and he's missed... Well, it's not quite an open goal, but goodness me, he's just not connected with it. He's inside the 6-yard box. I'll tell you, that's a high XG chance, that, isn't it? Nice save by De Gea, though. I must admit, nice save by De Gea.
Newcastle have started the better side again here.
They have. Look, that's a simple ball right there. That's a simple ball. And Cavani's getting the ump as well, because it's like, these are easy passes for United to make, and they're just not making them.
He's only been on the pitch for 2 minutes. He can't get the ump already.
Well, he can, based on what he's seen in the first half, I think. Talk to me about, just while we're watching this Manchester United attack, talk me through your plans for your goalkeeper position in the coming weeks. Because obviously, with no fixture next week, Ramsdale is going to be on a lot of people's transfer out list. Now, you're not going to have that problem because you're going to free hit in game week 20. So Ramsdale will go out, someone will come in, happy days. But then Ramsdale comes back in for 21. It's Man City. I think it's Spurs after that. There are some blanks on the horizon as well for Ramsdale. Is this a guy that, the likes of me, who's going to have to stick with him this week? Should I be selling him this week?
I think there's legitimate ground to sell him this week, yeah, because the fixtures aren't that. It seems counterintuitive, doesn't it, to sell Ramsdale, because he has been so good and so many of us were really trying to get him in over the last few weeks. But equally, I think the fixtures are over the next 3 weeks. Well, it's a blank, and then... there might be some doubles in there, but they don't look like nice doubles. They don't look like... They might be the sort of double that you would happily have the likes of Saka or Martinelli in. But I don't think they're the sort of double that you would want the goalie or a defender in necessarily.
Yeah. According to Ben Crellin, who... Listen, you don't need us to talk about...
The god of all things.
Following Ben Crellin. He does all the hard work for us in the blanks and the double game weeks, right? So if you need somebody to follow at the end of this, it's Ben. It's at BENCRELLIN, at Ben Crellin. Fantastic content, great contributor to the FPL community. And as and when games could be rescheduled, and that's what he does. He does a lot of predicting of when the double game weeks are going to happen, who's going to play who. And according to his latest spreadsheet, which, by the way, is like a Technicolor Dreamcoat of a spreadsheet. It
makes your head explode for a while at first, doesn't it?
When you first look at it, you go, whoa.
Yeah.
And then you have to understand it, and it's genius.
The best thing about
at first glance, you go like, oh my God.
But the best thing about Krellin's spreadsheet is that we were sat in the airport about to fly home from holiday, and I showed Lee a smaller version that was just showing game weeks 20 and 21, but they were in order slightly differently. I'd taken a screenshot. And then you were like, oh, that's different to mine. And then you showed me yours, and it was exactly the same, but they were just ordered slightly differently, but our heads basically exploded, didn't they?
Yeah, totally. So according to his spreadsheet, you're right. The Arsenal fixtures are, obviously they've played Norwich, then it's Wolves in 20, which is off. Then it's Man City, single game week in 21. And then there's a probable double game week. So he gives it a 60 to 80% chance of it being Spurs, and then one of either Chelsea or Liverpool.
I mean, you wouldn't really want him to be your goalkeeper for Man City, Chelsea, Liverpool or Spurs in a normal game week. You wouldn't be that keen on that.
No.
Now, the good thing about Ramsdale is that he will make his world-class, ridiculous photograph saves.
I will make plenty of saves against those boys, won't he?
He'll get save points, but will he get clean sheets in those? I wouldn't have thought so. I don't think there's any 6-pointers in there, but there could be 3-4-pointers in there with save points and that sort of thing.
In the same period of time, game week 20 onwards, let's just put some names out there. Hugo Lloris plays Southampton, Watford, and then a very likely double game week of Arsenal and one of Leicester or Burnley or Brighton. It's kind of to be decided. But
Spurs could play 2 double game weeks, couldn't they?
Not according to Ben. Ben is saying that game week 21 will be a single game week for Spurs.
Right.
And game week 22 is a very likely double game week for Spurs. So Hugo Lloris has got not just a double game week that we like a bit more than the Ramsdale one.
Because we're in the cup. Yeah.
You're in the cup. But he's got, Southampton and Watford coming up in 20 and 21. Maybe stick David De Gea in the conversation as well. Just pulled out a pretty decent... Ronaldo shot wide. Need something from Cristiano.
He don't look happy tonight.
And then put David De Gea out there, for example. He's got obviously this Newcastle game in 19. It's Burnley at home in 20. It's a possible double game week that consists of Wolves and Brentford in 21, and then a very likely double game week in 22 of Newcastle. So this return fixture, and then one of Burnley or Crystal Palace Wolves. So Manchester United, it's Brighton or Brentford actually, with Aston Villa. Sorry, it's Watford that have got Newcastle. So David De Gea again, it's Burnley, then it's Wolves and Brentford as a double game week, possibly, and then Villa and Brighton, very likely, as a double game week. So you've got nice fixture, double, potentially, for De Gea. Yeah, I know what they're doing tonight, right? But
just watching them over here thinking...
Yeah, I get it, but... Anyway,
the point I think you're making is right, though, isn't it? Is that Ramsdale on paper looks like a brilliant option because he's returning in the way that he is, but with a blank game week in 20, if you're not going to have a goalkeeper because you don't have a second keeper on your bench, there would be legitimate grounds for selling him this week because the fixtures over the next few don't look that likely for clean sheets. So
the other thing for you and I is that we got on Ramsdale late, right? I paid a lot of money for Ramsdale. I wasn't one of the early adopters. I didn't see it. I had Sanchez for ages.
Yeah.
And he's another one you could go back to, legitimate. Yeah. Or even I could upgrade my second non-playing goalkeeper to Sanchez.
Yeah.
But then I've got, possibly a £5.1 million Ramsdale. I'm not playing most weeks. But anyway, that's another conversation. But I got on Ramsdale quite late. So actually my selling price, I'm not going to lose that much team value if I sell him. It feels, and that's what in the end might just tip me towards the sell for Ramsdale into another goalkeeper.
Will you have a full... Is it a luxury transfer? Like, how many have you got for next week?
Because I've not got Smith Rowe, I've not got Rafinha, I've not got Watkins.
Lacazette?
I haven't got Lacazette. I had him for the free hit, but he's not there.
So Watkins, Smith Rowe... Ramsdale, Rafinha.
Yeah, and I've also got Richardson up front, haven't I, as my non-playing third striker.
Richardson, the dream.
So I've got loads of issues to sort out. So is it a bit of a luxury transfer? Yes, it is. But I also think that we're on dangerous ground here with all these the uncertainty around the fixtures at the moment. So having 2 goalkeepers maybe not a bad shout. Maybe just doing Steele to Sanchez and spending $500,000 there. and having Ramsdale and or Sanchez as an option for each week.
I think it's a good idea.
That maybe feels all right.
I prefer, generally speaking in life, I prefer the rotating keeper option. I
don't know if they rotate. I have to have a look at the fixtures to see if they rotate. But at this stage, I don't care.
It doesn't have to be rotating nicely. They just have to be able to play if the other game gets called off.
This is not going to be the last week where I look at my goalkeeper's position and say, oh, game's off. I've got no keeper. Whereas at least in the other positions, you've got options. You can move stuff around. But any given week, I'm going to be looking at my keeper and I'm looking at Ramsdale, and maybe an Arsenal game is off.
Yeah,
and I don't have to deal with that.
And I think that's part of the reason why, selling Salah feels awful. Free hitting him back in this week will be fine. But in the long run, not having 3 from any club, I think is the right thing. Because, you lose that when that Liverpool game went, and then which other game went?
This week?
Yeah.
I don't know, there was loads that went this week.
Yeah, but I didn't have enough players, did I? I didn't have I was down not having, anyway, whoever it was, it meant that had I just had 2 Liverpool players, I would have had a whole team out.
Yeah.
If I'd have just had 2. So I think there's legitimate grounds for playing the game slightly differently at the moment. I think that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, without a doubt. So John L makes a nice comment in the chat.
I've got to move. I'm not comfy.
Lloris is only 0.3 more than David De Gea, and Tottenham are looking way better than Manchester United defensively recently. Just because there isn't too much to talk about in Newcastle United at the moment, it looks as if the game is livening up a little bit, but not a lot, to be honest with you. I can't see too much goal mouth action since the St. Maximin chance that David De Gea saved pretty well down to his right. Give us your view then on the Spurs performance, because again, they look good, right? Spurs doing a very professional performance on a Crystal Palace team, which I must admit I thought was going to be ravaged by COVID and injuries, but actually they put out more or less a first 11 Palace. I saw the team sheet. I was actually quite surprised.
The thing is, I don't know genuinely, and I don't know, but there was a lot of rumour the night before that Palace had put in this request for the game to be called off and this, that and the other. I haven't seen any official word that they asked for a game to be postponed.
That's true. It was all rumour, wasn't it?
It was all rumour. So I honestly, I let myself be very affected by that rumour.
Yeah.
Because at first I was like, oh, well that's my transfer scuppered because I was going to do Salah to Son. Then when the official word came and all it said was the game is on.
Yeah.
So it didn't say, yes, we've asked for it to be postponed and it's off. We didn't have any confirmation that they've ever asked from anybody, the Premier League, Palace or Spurs. Did Ronaldo just get booked?
He is having a good old
I think he might have just got booked.
Longstaff. It could be a booking for Ronaldo. Let's have a look at this. Telles, looks like Longstaff has a pop at Telles. And then, oi! That's a nasty one from Ronaldo.
Cristiano.
There it is, guys. There it is. There's the side of Ronaldo that we feared as captainers. He's absolutely gone through. Is that Fabian Schär? He's gone through the Newcastle player, like Harry Kane did on.
Now.
To be honest with you, even in slow mo, he goes through the player quite quickly there. Listen. It's a strong ref that's going to send off Cristiano Ronaldo, but I would be having a look at that if I was the referee. He goes absolutely through him, and there's not a lot of attempt to get the ball. I don't think. Didn't really see it in real time, but he's anyway. Ronaldo is booked. Right?
But going back
Ronaldo
to that Spurs thing, so it massively affected me because I was like, right, do I do the thing? And then when they said the game's on, I was like, well, that's it then. Palace are going to be in absolute disarray.
Yeah, they have no players.
I must get 5 Spurs players in somehow, and I must captain one of them. I exaggerate a little bit, but I did think I must bring in Son, and then I sat there having bought in Son, and I was like, this, with Ronaldo and Son for captaincy, and the thing that did it for me in the end was the Palace team sheet that I was expecting to see.
Yeah.
Roll in the Palace team sheet, and I said to you, I think I've done the wrong thing here. And I did get away with it. I massively got away with it because he scored with the last touch he made on the pitch.
That's so jammy, honestly. The Son captainers this week, they've got away with one because he was. I think they were preparing the sub for like 4 minutes. before it actually happened.
The ball just didn't go out.
He got the flicked in goal and then he immediately went off. It was so jammy, honestly. But listen.
But the thing is, and I think this is the other thing that we have to be careful of at the moment, is that there is a hell of a lot of rumour and rhetoric that goes around. There you are, I've mentioned rhetoric now.
Love it.
On social media, with people from clubs, people saying all in the nose this, in the nose that. Unless the Premier League says something or you hear something from the club themselves, don't go all in on it. That's what I would say.
True. Here goes St Maximin again down the left-hand, Newcastle's left-hand side. He's actually lost his footing, which is unlucky because he ghosted past the fullback there. Looked as if he was getting himself into a good position. He's full of step-overs tonight, St Max. He's full of step-overs. He's full of tricks. He's giving them nightmares, the Manchester United defenders, St Max.
But I was impressed by Spurs. I thought we played well.
Great. Really good again. Another clean sheet.
Defensively, really solid again. We were really good. And, you're starting to see the ticking again. And you're starting to see the kind of... It feels like Spurs are back.
It's working.
It feels like
Kane scoring again.
Kane scoring again. Son scoring, Moura's scoring, everybody it feels happy again.
Lucas Moura, let's touch on him because he was massively overlooked, I think, because everyone was going to Son, and I still think Son is probably the right player to go to. I'm not convinced I want to spend 12 million on Harry Kane just yet, but
I don't know.
What about Lucas Moura? Because he's such a great differential at 6 point something million. He's at 6.5 million. And there is no doubt that his game has come on leaps and bounds under the new manager. Conte has got him really going. Dearie me.
What is that,
Rashford has absolutely just spooned one out for a goal kick when it looked easier to cross it. He's well off it. United just not at it tonight. They are not at it. I don't know whether the rest has just affected their momentum. They were in such a good vibe, weren't they? And now it's just come to a bit of a shuddering halt tonight. I don't know. Who knows? They're just really not on it.
We were worried about that with Spurs, weren't we? We were worried that with Spurs, when you had you miss a game, that you lose that momentum that you have, new manager bounce and all of that stuff. It feels like they've had too much for Christmas. They had Christmas Day off, they were saying before this game. It feels like they've had too many roast potatoes and Yorkshire puddings, and now they've
just lost their momentum. They had a real mojo under Ralph. They had the kind of... I don't know if you remember when Mourinho left you lot, you improved just because Mourinho wasn't there anymore. And I wonder whether that might be the same for United. It's difficult to say that. They've been great for 3 or 4 weeks and we've watched them be crap for an hour and suddenly Ranić's a problem. I'm not suggesting that, but maybe there was a bit of new manager bounce there. Not necessarily because it was Ralph Ranić coming in, but maybe because it was just anyone but Ole coming in was a good thing. Same at Spurs. Anybody but Jose would have been good. And maybe there's a bit of that going on. I don't know. We need to watch more of Man United and we need to watch them more in their flow. And they've got half an hour still to salvage something from this game. But going back to the Lucas Moura point, is he nailed on in that Spurs team? I mean, Conte's saying a lot of good things about him. He seems to be lots of goals, lots of assists under him. But you've got the Bergwijn factor there. You've got the fact that if you decide to move to the 3-5-2 again, like you did against Liverpool with Son and Kane up top, there's no real space. I don't think Moura fits into that system. And my concern, if I was to get Moura,
you might miss some games
not the better games, the games against the bigger teams. When you're playing your Arsenals or your Man U's or your Chelseas, is he going to play that 3-5-2 again? Therefore, no space for Moura.
He might.
Yeah.
And he of the front three. Why was front three so hard to say? He is the most at risk of rotation, which is why he's cheaper than the other two, right?
Oh, he's in.
Son and Kane.
Is he in? Or Fraser's in? Good save, De Gea.
Son and Kane are as nailed as you can get. And I said to you, didn't I, just before we came on tonight, the one thing that worries me about Moura for this game week upcoming is that he gave Son and Kane a rest in this game. He brought them both off early. Yeah. And he didn't do that. I think
we're expecting that, weren't we?
He didn't do that. Well, yeah, of course, because we play again tomorrow. So it was 48 hours between the two games. Of course, he's going to protect the two that he massively needs. And he's already come out and said, I don't have anyone to replace Kane with. So he will start every game. He has to. They don't have another forward. But Lucas Moura is more at risk because he could play Bergwijn. He could play Dele Alli. I don't think he will, but he could play Dele Alli. He could also change the structure and the formation around in the team. He said, Conte came out and said that Bergwijn was going to start against Brighton and Leicester, but both of those two games were called off. So there is definitely a bit of a risk there. But what you do get with Lucas Moura pretty much is that he'll always come on. So even if he doesn't start, you're never going to get naught. You will get something, and he's dangerous and he's on good form, so he can easily return you in half an hour.
He does look good. Super chat from Liam Healy. Thanks, Liam, for the super chat. Evening, Lee and Sam. Hope you had a nice Christmas. Yes, we did, mate. Hope you had a good Christmas too. You and the family. It was very nice indeed. Ate
too much, but
definitely ate
too
much.
Doesn't everyone?
Oh my God, yeah, seriously. It looks like Dallo might be getting booked now as well, just to compound the misery for those that have him, including me on my free hit.
This is really surprising me. This.
Yeah,
it is
me as well.
I'm also sort of not sure why I am surprised.
Well, when I looked at the fixtures for this week, this was one that I targeted, and I one of the reasons for swaying towards playing the free hit was, look, I didn't have what I considered to be the key captaincy choice for this game week, which was Cristiano Ronaldo. The fact that I decided to supplement with Dallo, doesn't look as if Dallo's booked, by the way. It looks like he might be getting away with that. But this fixture, it was a lot. That swayed me a lot in my thinking towards the free hit, I must admit. Talk to me about this bonkers game at the Etihad that we saw on Boxing Day. Manchester City 6, Leicester 3. So City go 4-0 up in like half an hour or something. It's an absolute ruthless rampage through
slaughter.
It's a slaughter of the Leicester City back line, which when I saw...
Maxi, off you go.
So Max again, good save De Gea. Plenty of saves here for De Gea. There's a few save points here. And another punch out, bit unconvincing, but still got it away from danger. Anyway, this game, 6-3, the Leicester City defence, which we've seen be shaky throughout this season, no doubt about it. And when I saw that team sheet on Twitter, who's he booking now? Let's have a look.
I don't think he's booking anybody.
Oh, he got his yellow card out and then decided against it?
I think he was just telling Fraser and De Gea to...
No.
Oh, he booked Bruno.
He's booked Bruno. And
now he misses the next game.
Bruno misses the Burnley game, and he's also booking somebody else now. What's going on now? Jeez. He's card happy now, the referee.
That won't be happy for Sean. I don't know if Sean's in the chat. He's got Bruno.
Okay. So Bruno now missing out the Burnley game. So there's an option that you're not going to have on your free hit for next week, Sam, if you were thinking about it, or you are going to play it. If you were thinking about getting Bruno in as a bit of a differential, not going to happen. Not going to happen.
On this performance, I'm not thinking about having anyone at United in my free hit.
Well, yeah. It's Burnley at home, though, isn't it? You've got to think they're going to get something from that.
It's Newcastle.
Yeah. What can you say? Newcastle look all right.
I mean, I would expect to bounce back from this, but...
Oh my God, that is so close.
If anyone's going to score here, it looks like it's going to be United. It's going to be Newcastle, not United.
Newcastle, yeah. De Gea just lets that go, and I'll tell you what, it's closer than it looks.
I'd like to see that from behind the goal.
From Jacob Murphy. Oh, I was going to say what a great effort. I don't think it was a great effort, but De Gea lets it go well. It's very, very close.
Good grief.
So yes, this City game, they
bonkers.
rampage through the Leicester City defence. They goes to half time. They all put their feet up and have a cigar. Leicester come out and say, well, we're not having this. They score 3 goals to make it 4-3, and then City just go, well, no. Let's not be silly.
Down.
Let's not be silly about this. Get back in your box, and we're going to beat you 6-3.
That's a bad one. He's going to book him as well.
Is that Harry Maguire?
Yeah.
God, the cards are flowing now at the minute. The game's getting spicy. With Ronaldo already on a red, I'm not...
yellow?
He's already on a yellow. So, yeah, Ronaldo's already on a yellow. I don't like the fact the game is getting spicy, I'll be honest. Here goes Maguire, let's see. He's just been done.
What is that?
He's just been done. St. Maximin is just too good for Maguire there. He's just too good for Maguire. He goes to ground and he just skips past. He's just too good, St. Max.
It's his 4th yellow. Gets booked again, he'll be out.
Looks like there's a Newcastle player down as well in the centre of the field. Who is that?
What's happened to him?
I don't know, but he's down getting treatment. We'll find out more about that in just a second.
Who is it? 20 what?
I don't know.
It's Fraser.
Fraser. It's that Tellez on Fraser.
I think he's fine.
He's only little Fraser. If anybody jumps, they're going to be twice his height anyway. He's bound to get a bash on the head.
I can't have that, because did you see Lucas Moura, the salmon, flying through the air? He's about knee-high to a grasshopper.
Well, did you see Lucas Moura in the post-match? He was just like, I might be little, but I can jump high. That's amazing. Absolutely.
Lucas Moura is a legend. Absolute legend, that man. I'd invite him round for dinner, Lucas Moura.
Look how nervous Eddie Howe looks. They've just got a couple of shots on Sky of Eddie Howe. He looks well nervous that he's going to get some points here. Absolutely crazy.
So going back to this Leicester game.
Go on.
I have a problem.
What's your problem?
Bernardo Silva.
This is bonkers, isn't it? This is bonkers. Because actually, when you watch the games...
Now, I don't really have an issue in some ways with this going wrong because I got him in for every haul he's got. So
you got him super early.
It's not like I've got on him and he's done nothing. But what is it? They've scored 17 goals since.
Their last 17 goals, he's had no involvement in. It's absolutely crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And I must admit, we go back to that Watford game. When was it? Game week 15? Game week 13, 15? Something like that. A few game weeks ago. And City won 3-1. It was at Vicarage Road, and he scored 2 belters, didn't he? He scored 2 worldies on an XG of 0.22.
And I loved it.
We sat here on the Sunday night, 8:30, and you were absolutely loving it. And I said, you are the jammiest person ever because he's got a 0.2 XG. This cannot continue. Then the next week, he goes and gets the most dubious assist when it hit... Who was it? It hit someone's armpit from Wolves, didn't it? Moutinho's armpit, and he gets a fantasy assist for causing the foul, if you can call it that. Look, I'm just trying to make a point. Get your violin out if you want, but you asked me about Bernardo Silva, and I'm telling you, this was it. I expected this to happen. He's regressing to the mean.
Well, I do sort of agree with you, but I also think that when I got Bernardo Silva in, they had a lot of injuries to key players, so he was playing as basically a false 9. Well, he isn't so much playing. He did actually against Leicester for some of it, but he isn't so much playing as a false 9 anymore. He is starting to play. There are other bigger players, KDB's back now. There are other... Sterling's manned up again.
Oh, he's in here. Oh, Cavani!
Oh,
no! Cavani.
The jammiest of equalisers.
Well, they just didn't react to Newcastle. They didn't react. The ball came in. I don't know who from. We're going to find out in just a second.
Who got the assist?
And Cavani loitering in the box there. Gets the shot away. It's a decent shot, but... He's there with the follow-up. Is this gone to the right? Is this a Dalot assist? That'd be great if it is. Let's have a look. One shot from Cavani comes back to him. And then second ball just kind of like trickles in.
I don't think that'll be an assist.
I don't think that'll be an assist because it hits the defender
saved.
And comes back to him.
They've saved, the defenders.
Just be a Cavani goal, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Dalot with a great ball in, but won't get an assist for that, I don't think, because the shot was blocked.
And the keeper's wrong-footed, so he can't get back quickly enough. Look, that's all. That's a shame.
What do you mean that's a shame? You're delighted that's no Dalot assist.
No, it's a shame for Newcastle. Oh, go on, they're off again.
Got the bit between the teeth. St Max doing his tricks. Left foot. Oh, De Gea with another save. It's like De Gea versus St Maximin back there at the minute, isn't it? It's ridiculous.
Well, that's all Newcastle have got, isn't it? Get the ball to St Maximin and pray.
To be honest, yes. That is it.
That is what's happening.
He's been their main man tonight. They've performed pretty well as a team. But every time he's got the ball, he has looked incredibly dangerous.
Yeah.
And United, they back off whenever he gets the ball. The problem they've got is the Callum Wilson going off.
They'll win this now, Man United.
Probably.
They'll win this game now.
Probably. But you've got to hand it to Ranić. He changed it. He put 2 up front, a bit more presence whenever the balls come in, and there we go. Cavani gets the equaliser. So fair enough. Yeah, fair enough. So let's finish up on this Man City thing, this Bernardo Silva. Are you holding, you selling? Presumably you're not going to have him in your free hit.
No, I'm not going to free hit him in. No, okay. He'll go on my free hit and then probably he'll go again.
You'll transfer him out in game week 21?
The plan is for him and Lacazette to go in 21, yeah.
Right, okay. Yeah. For who? Have you got any thoughts on...
Well, a lot can change.
A lot can change.
In 4 days.
Yes, no doubt.
But Lacazette probably... back to Ollie Watkins, probably.
Right.
Because Ollie Watkins actually had some quite nice fixtures.
He doesn't look too bad.
And we'll free up some more money. I'll have about 4 million in the bank at that point.
Yeah.
And that means that I can do something special with Bernardo Silva. I could take him up if I wanted to one of the other City. I'd like to keep a City attacker. It's just getting enough money to keep.
Here's a potential Bernardo Silva replacement for you if you're not going to go somewhere else in Man City. Not for game week 20, but you're free hitting, so that's fine. But from game week 21 onwards, Leicester City... and
you're going to say James Maddison.
Well, I am going to say James Maddison, because defensively they've looked shot, haven't they? But that's the same all season. But he is their 4-man right now.
Yeah.
He's got 4 double-digit returns in the last 5, and potentially, according to Ben's spreadsheet, they've got a double-double in 21 and 22.
I don't...
Come on.
I'm not feeling the James Maddison love.
Oh, you're not?
No.
What's not to love about it? He's scoring goals. He's creating goals.
I don't know,
he's getting FPL points.
Yeah, and I probably need to get over it, but he annoys me so much.
Why does
I don't know. I don't know what it is about him. Like it was when he turned up to that interview the other day wearing a suit. What are you doing?
Oh, he loves himself. Oh, he's absolutely a prima donna, no doubt about it.
And I also think...
But he gets FPL points, that's all we care
about.
He does,
but I watch him and I think you just look rubbish and then you just get these points. Like, I want to watch a player. Like, I want to have, like, Lucas Moura. Players like that who you watch and you think, yes, this is like, I'm convinced
he's a nice man.
Not just that, but you watch it and you think there's fantasy points here.
Yeah.
And then...
You not think I'm a Maddison?
No, I watch him and think, ugh. And then there's some fantasy points that come of it. Maybe I'm being a bit harsh on Maddison, but I don't feel the Maddison love. I also don't feel the love for Leicester either. I think they only got those goals because Man City went, nah, this is easy.
There's a few people in the chat that are saying thoughts on DCL. Jamie Taylor, would you consider going early on DCL? You
said about him, didn't you, earlier?
Deo Reese is saying DCL for Lacazette. You've got Lacazette. You have talked just then about getting rid of him, potentially. Let's have a look at the Everton fixtures. We know that they're good.
Is he back?
I think he's very close to being back. I mean, they've got Newcastle, or have they? They've got Newcastle at home in game week 20. But I think it's, well, let's see whether it goes ahead or not based on the situation at Everton. But then in 21, they've got, according to Ben's spreadsheet, a probable double game week of Brighton and Leicester at home, which looks great. And then a possible, very possible, unlikely chance of a double game week again in 22. But if they don't have a double game week, then at least their game is Norwich. They will have Norwich, who are a team we should be targeting right now.
Who could they potentially have with Norwich Spurs?
It could have Burnley or Leicester. So
this is Everton we're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think largely depends where that Leicester game goes, right? But feasibly, they could have Newcastle, Brighton and Leicester double game week, Norwich and Burnley double game week.
He's just had a massive long-term injury.
I know, but
there
this
is
is the time to
absolutely
get on him,
no way on this planet that he comes back into the team and plays 90 minutes 4 times in a week, which is basically what you're saying there. If you take 20 and 21, there's no chance that happens. He might get 60 minutes. He'd probably get 30 minutes in one game. He'd probably get 60 minutes in the other. He might get 70 minutes in another. There's no chance that this guy comes back. Remember the last time he came back from this injury? He was only got on the pitch for a minute.
They're going to manage him back, again. Surely.
He's got, and we have to temper. We have to temper our expectations, I think, with players that are coming back from injury, especially at this time of the year, because the games are just bonkersly close together.
Yeah.
And now we're talking about adding in more games. So,
as Henry Sampson is saying in the chat, Calvert-Lewin has got good fixtures, but just at the wrong time.
They are coming at the wrong time.
Good fixtures at the wrong time for him.
He's not somebody that I'm looking at. That doesn't mean that I don't think he can return. He's got the fixtures to return. I just don't think he'll get enough minutes. He'll probably play he probably won't even get 90 minutes across the double game week, I would say.
So Reece Smith is in the live chat. Hey Reece, thanks for the question. He says, which City assets on the free hit? So you're going free hit in game week 20. You've already said, okay, no to Bernardo Silva. Cue the Bernardo brace.
Yeah.
Who are you going to go for then? Because it is a lottery, isn't it?
Maybe Sterling.
Maybe Sterling. Yeah, he looks okay, doesn't he? He looks all right.
Maybe Sterling, maybe KDB. One or the other.
Is he going to play? Well, you could say that about any of them, couldn't you? Is he going to play?
It's a pep roulette. You just buy a ticket.
You don't fancy Foden? Is Foden off the naughty set now? Is he going to get his place back in this team? We're not sure, are we? We're not sure. We think so.
I mean, I think so, because Pep brought him on this week. So
that
would suggest that he's done the crime has been punished enough.
Yeah.
But hey, who knows?
Who knows? I tell you what, in this game, Newcastle are still looking all right. They're still looking absolutely in this game. McTominay just down, probably going to receive a bit of treatment in a minute. Actually looks like he might be going off for Matic. I thought he might go off in the first half, actually. He was down for quite some time with a bit of a knock. But it looks like he's going off now for Matic.
What's he done to his foot anyway, then?
I don't know, but he's struggling to put weight on it there, which, no, he's not.
All right,
he's running.
now.
He's fine.
Maybe
but he probably does need to go off, and he's going to be subbed for Nemanja Matic. It looks like Ranić's having a good old chat with Rashford as well. He's had a bit of a poor game, hasn't he, Rashford? A bit of a poor game. But listen, still 13 minutes plus injury time to go in this game. Still plenty of time for your prediction that Man United win this game to come true. I can't remember Ronaldo having a touch since he got booked, to be honest.
I remember seeing Ronaldo since he got booked.
He looks like he might be a bit goosed, whether he might not be...
He's gone walkabout.
Well, yeah, but listen, can he do, 90 minutes on the back of no training for 2 weeks? I don't know. But they've got to keep him out there, right? They need a goal, so they're not going to take off Ronaldo.
He's done some training, hasn't he?
Probably, yeah. I don't know. They've only just recently opened the training ground, haven't they? So who knows? But they're not going to take him off. Talk to me about Arsenal then. So Arsenal coming into this game week,
Smith Rowe
looking very good. Smith Rowe absolutely ridiculously scores off the bench again for whatever that is, the third or fourth week in a row. Absolutely ridiculous. And they go on to win this game 5-0. The star of the show is Saka, who, unlike recent performances from Saka tends to be really great at the underlying stats,
but
then doesn't get the FPL returns. Completely the opposite this week. 2 goals for Saka, but actually a very low XG of something like, I remember seeing the stat, 0.24, something like that. So he was very high on the XG overachievers list this week, which is the complete opposite to what we've seen from him in the past. But I would say that's just rewards, actually. If you've held Saka for all of those difficult times, watching Smith Rowe come off the bench and bang in a goal, and you've held on to Saka because you kind of, you believe in the underlying stats and you're there, well done. You've got the returns and a double-digit haul. Are any of these Arsenal players on your radar for the longer term? Of course you're not going to free hit any of them in because they're not playing. They've got Wolves, that's cancelled.
Well, I've got 3 at the moment. I've got 3 Arsenal players in my team for this week.
So we've already discussed what we might or might not do with Ramsdale as one. But what about Smith Rowe now? Talk to me about Smith Rowe, because he's not playing. He's clearly not first choice at the moment, I don't think.
But with the number of games that we've got coming over the next few weeks, he's going to...
that's what annoyed me about the Wolves game. Because I'm like, well, the Wolves game's coming like 2 days after Norwich. Surely he's in line to start. And then it gets called off. You're like, what the hell?
Yeah.
So now, going into their next game, I'm not sure what game Arsenal have got next.
They've got tough fixtures coming up.
Well, it's City, isn't it? Yeah, it's City, then it's Spurs in a possible double game with Chelsea and Liverpool. So Smith Rowe, I think he's a pretty easy sell right now, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
think so.
I am ridiculously still quite enjoying owning him.
You're emotionally attached to him
because
of what he's doing.
He comes off the bench and gets me points every week.
I get it.
I mean, I'll be honest, totally honest. I celebrated when he come off the bench, didn't I?
You celebrated an Arsenal goal, which
not the goal, not the goal.
Yeah.
I celebrated the one
ball across the front. Oh, Cavani just couldn't get there.
I celebrated the one FPL point that I thought he was going to get for coming off the bench because I didn't have a sub. Oh, what's up with Max?
That's St. Max.
Yeah, he's gone off the other end out of sight. I can't see him
Ronaldo
anymore.
shaping to shoot. They've done a good job there. Newcastle done a good job defending him all day. Ball over the top. Fernandes, Sancho can't sort his feet out.
He's offside.
Goodness me, not working for Sancho, is it, at the minute?
Check on St. Maximin. He went off looking all hoppy. There he is. Look, I knew he didn't look right.
Just knackered, didn't he?
He hurt himself in that challenge. Watch him.
Let's have a look.
Pulls up.
Oh, yeah, he does pull up a little bit there. What's that, a knee?
Yeah, looks like
a
it.
knee or a calf?
Arm straight up to the bench.
Yeah, that's a problem. So that's Newcastle potentially without Callum Wilson and Alan St-Maximin for a little while.
Who they got next? After I get them on my free hit.
Well, it's Everton next, isn't it? Then Southampton and Watford. So actually the fixtures look pretty good for them. So they could do with at least one of those players being fit. St-Maximin's getting some treatment now, but he's shaking his head. He doesn't look great. It's a calf. Yeah, same as Wilson. It's a calf muscle.
He pulls up.
Let's have a look at it. Oh, this is the goal, actually. It's a great goal, isn't it?
Should
De Gea be doing better on that goal?
Probably.
De Gea's kind of rooted. Should he be getting there for that? I don't know. He gets there for this one. This is the second chance. The one that actually is probably easier for St. Max to put in, but he doesn't get enough power on it.
No.
De Gea just gets down and gets it away.
He's going off, yeah. He's got to come off.
That is a problem for Newcastle. That's their 2 key
They're not scoring again now.
Assets going off. I actually don't know what they're going to do without them.
He does not look happy either, does he? Look.
He doesn't look happy. That is basically a 4-5-1 with Joe Linton for a few weeks now. That'll be fun for Newcastle.
Get him on my free hit, shall I?
No way.
Why not? I could bench him. Joe Linton,
do me a favour. Good lord. So Arsenal then, we've spoken a little bit there about Emile Smith-Rowe. What about these other options? So Lacazette is in your team right now. 11-point haul. Happy days.
But that was I targeted Norwich.
You targeted Norwich, okay.
I bought him
Which I think is a fair thing to do right now. Norwich, despite the slight improvement they had under Dean Smith, they've regressed again, haven't they? They look bad again.
I targeted Norwich, to be brutally honest. I just thought, I didn't fancy Ollie Watkins against Chelsea. I'll go Lacazette against Norwich.
Fair,
I need to get
fair.
I need some points, and that's what I'm doing. But I'm not planning to keep him. Like I said, after my free hit, he'll obviously...
Dwight Gale on for Newcastle. So there's the answer to what are they going to do without them two. Is they're going to have Dwight Gale up with Joe Linton.
There's Shearer. Looking concerned. Yeah, so I'm not planning to keep Lacazette. I think he was I don't think he's a bad option, actually. But the fixtures aren't great for goals. So it's not that I don't think he'll score goals over that period, because could he score against Spurs in the derby? Yes, absolutely. Will he score against City next, right? So I doubt it. Maybe. I mean,
difficult City... fixtures for someone that isn't that explosive an asset for that amount of money.
Not multiple goals in those games, I don't think. You might be one goal here or there, but I don't think there's multiple goals for them. And
plus, there's better value in Ødegaard and Saka and maybe even Smith Rowe and players like that right now. And Martinelli, it's...
Ødegaard's impressed me the last couple of weeks.
Been very good. He's the creative hub of that team now.
Yeah,
without doubt.
To replace Smith Rowe in that position, and I mean he's an option. But I think, to be honest, with the fixtures the way they are, you can probably avoid Arsenal. Not because I don't think that they're playing well. Not because I think that not anything anti-Arsenal in that comment. It's just, I don't think the fixtures are great, and there are other players in other teams who are performing well and have nicer fixtures.
Okay.
That's all.
So here's a Game Week 20 question that's been asked of you in the live chat, and I'm going to ask you it as well. So you're targeting Norwich there, which I think is absolutely the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Norwich are playing Crystal Palace. So Crystal Palace have got Norwich at home in 20. That has got to be a fixture that you are targeting. Who are you targeting from Crystal Palace in your Game Week 20 free hit?
These balls up to Ronaldo are terrible. That's a tough question, because I actually was not impressed at all by Crystal Palace against Spurs. And not only that, they'll now be without Zaha for his ridiculous red card.
What is he doing there?
So,
what is he doing, Zaha? What an absolute muppet.
Boxing Day decided to
have
a fight with Royale.
That is why, I'm sorry to say this, Zaha fans, Palace fans, but that is why he will never, he hasn't and he will never have a big club move. Because he's just got that stupidity in him, that childishness that he can't get rid of. It's just ridiculous.
Said in the return of that game, didn't you? Back in September when we played Crystal Palace.
He and Tanganga were having a wind-up. Now, Tanganga has learnt from that. Have you seen Tanganga be aggressive in any game since? No, he's learnt from it. And by the way, he's 20 whatever years old.
He's not that kind of guy either.
Whereas Zaha is nearly 30 years old and he's still trying to mess about like a child. It's pathetic.
Yeah. So now they're going to be without him. And I think Vieira's still not going to be there because he'll be in isolation.
Yeah.
So I don't think that, if anything, I might go Pookie.
God, do me a favour. You have to target Norwich. Norwich are all over the shop. I'll give you this one for free then, because you're obviously not thinking about him, but get him in your free hit. If you're playing him in Game Week 20, get Edouard from Crystal Palace. He didn't play in this game against Spurs. Why? Because I think he's ready to unleash him against Norwich. He's one to have. He impresses me every time he comes on. All right, don't get him. I'm very happy if you don't get him, because against Norwich he could do some damage. There's a reason he was rested for a majority of this game. I think he's going to start against Norwich at home, and I think Vieira will be asking him to be the match winner in that game.
Oof.
If I was free hitting in Game Week 20, Edouard would absolutely be in there. He would absolutely be in there.
I don't know. I'm not. I really.
Never mind Conor Gallagher and all that. You get him if you want, but Edouard's the one.
Oh, hello, Newcastle. Off they go on their bikes.
What's this? 2-3 now.
But there's
Newcastle.
no Max there, so they got nothing up top.
It's Dwight Gale and somebody else.
Is that Shelvey?
Shelvey bursting into the box. Newcastle still showing some ambition.
They're still trying
fair play. Oh, that's a poor ball.
That's a terrible ball.
This is the problem now. They've got no quality.
Oh!
Do you see that?
Off the post!
Get in!
Oh,
what a save, David De Gea! What a save! That is unbelievable. Off the post. I literally, as the ball left his foot, I said they've got no quality in the final third, Newcastle, and they've just pulled out. Who was the initial shot? Miguel Almiron? No, Hayden.
Oh.
Off the post, and then Almiron bends it top corner, does everything right, and De Gea pulls out an absolutely top save. I don't know whether De Gea is going to get any bonus points in this game, but he deserves it. He's been absolutely outstanding. He stopped everything except for the goal.
If that had hit a couple of millimetres further to the left, to the right,
good save,
that would have deflected in off the post. Oof.
Yeah, it's if I was going to get rid of Ramsdale, it probably would be De Gea or Lloris. It'd be one of those two.
Who'll go?
Maybe down to Sanchez. I don't know, but De Gea's looked very solid this evening. He really has. Very good indeed.
Apart from the
That's going to go out for a goal kick. Well, that's as close as Newcastle have come in some time, actually, And to be honest with you, without Wilson and St Maximin, I didn't fancy them to create or fashion many more chances than that. But that is unlucky.
A quality save.
That's a great effort from Amaron. That's a great effort. Look at that. Bends it almost in the top corner.
The defenders are watching it.
It's a bit too central, wasn't it? It just allowed De Gea to get over there and get it. If it was a bit more in the top bins, he wouldn't have got there, De Gea. It was a good effort from Amaron, but just bending towards the middle of the goal a bit too much. United look shot. I mean, Ronaldo, captain, is absolutely in the mud, isn't it? It's absolutely in the mud. All he's done is get booked, and I haven't seen him have a touch for 20 minutes.
My Gameweek has been saved. They're off again.
There they go again. They look the more likely in a minute. That's a terrible
decision.
What are you doing going that way? What are you doing going that way?
He's not St Max, is he? Oh my God, me. Shelby.
Last ditch defending here from United. Newcastle look like the team that can go on and get the winner here. Not Manchester United.
I don't know what's happened to Newcastle here.
Well, they're looking all right. Could be a squeaky bum time last couple of minutes for Man U here, because Newcastle definitely in the ascendancy. Let's have a look at this. That's a poor ball. Poor ball in. But no, what? So give me your thoughts now, Ronaldo, right? Because he's in your team.
Yeah, but
is he going to be in your free hit team next week?
I really want Kane back.
You really want Kane for next week, don't you?
More than...
Away at Saints. We all know what happened. Joe Linton's just got man of the match from Sky Sports, by the way. I would not have had... If you'd have said to me, how much money, Lee, do you want on Joe Linton, man of the match, for tonight? I wouldn't have had a penny. I would not have had a penny on Joe Linton, man of the match.
Who would you put it on?
Well, Ronaldo, probably. That's why I captained him. I would not have had Joe Linton. God, goodness me. Absolutely ridiculous.
I'm not enjoying owning Ronaldo. I'm just going to say that.
Yeah. I'm glad I've got him on free hit. I'm not
feeling the love.
I'm not buzzing that I want to get it. I know it's Burnley at home next and the fixtures look all right, but I've got to take Salah out to get him. I ain't doing that.
What, even when he's gone?
When Salah goes to AFCON, that's a different conversation. I mean, if Spurs continue to look good, then I might have Harry, of course.
Everyone wants to be a Harry.
But not really, not for that money.
They do, because basically what's going to happen here is that he's now got what? That was his third, or was that his fourth goal? Third.
Something like that, yeah.
Third, I think. This week, he'll score again. And then everyone goes, he's only got 4. The next week, he'll score again. Oh, he's only got 5. And before you know it, he'll have 10. And everyone will be forgetting about it.
Yeah, I still think Son's a better option, and having both looks a bit overkill at the minute. It looks a bit overkill. No. Having one of them with Mora sounds all right.
That was a bad decision, Shelby. It was a poor
what are they appealing for here?
They want a handball.
Oh,
it's not. It was Joe Linton. It wasn't Shelby. It's not. I don't think it's a handball. Was it?
Let's have a look. You're not getting that. You're not getting that, Joe Linton. Stop appealing for that. You're not getting it.
I'd give it.
Of course you would. It's outside the box if it's given, but it should not be given.
It won't be given. It's outside the box.
It's ball to hand.
What is it now? Throw in.
6 minutes of injury time, by the way, guys. We're in the 91st minute. 6 minutes, so 5 to go. Let's see whether either side can snatch it. It certainly feels like it might be petering out to a draw.
I think I will. Going back to your question on Ronaldo for next week, basically the fear will get me and I'll end up keeping him for Burnley on a free hit. But I'm going to try and make my team work so that I can have a couple of bigger... Without Salah...
Yeah.
Well, I want Salah back though, don't I? So if I'm going to have Salah, I won't be able to have Salah, Kane, Son and KDB.
My dilemma for you, or the free hit game week 20 dilemma for me is, you have Salah, unquestionably. If you have Ronaldo as well at home to Burnley, I think that somewhat blocks you from going like a De Bruyne or a Sterling away at Brentford. Both of which are really nice differentials, which if they were to come off, which based on current form and if they get picked by Pep, I understand all of that. Away at Brentford, the way that they're motoring at the minute, City, you could have somebody like a De Bruyne or a Sterling. A goal from either one of those would absolutely propel you up the leagues. But it would be very difficult to have one of them if you're going Salah and Ronaldo. Would you sacrifice Ronaldo home to Burnley and have those big hitters from Man City in midfield instead? Or would you stay in the kind of Foden, Bernardo, Grealish bracket so that you can have Ronaldo?
If I was going to sacrifice Ronaldo, it'd be for Kane.
It'd be for Kane, okay. It would be a straight swap, okay.
I wouldn't go to KDB or Sterling if Ronaldo's not there.
He's had an absolute disaster.
Clear it!
Oh, it's because it was falling to Ronaldo. You were hating that.
I own him. I blaming him still.
Oh, the keeper had a proper brain fart there.
No, I think Newcastle deserved to get something out of this game. That was more than an FPL.
No,
that
it
was
wasn't.
Not an
that
FPL.
was a. Oh my God!
Ronaldo.
The ball is close to Ronaldo.
I own Ronaldo.
I've captained him.
I don't care about you.
You do.
You're so far behind me. I don't have to worry about what you're doing.
I've never seen a more muted celebration when Lucas Moura scored at the weekend.
Whatever. I celebrated Lucas Moura. You free hitted to try and catch me.
You celebrated the Smith Rowe goal.
No, I did not.
You did celebrate the Smith Rowe goal.
I did not. You were the one that was going mental. I sat there and I laughed when Smith Rowe scored.
I can't believe this.
The guys in the Slack were going, "Oh my God, ESR," and I was on the sofa, absolutely hysterical laughter, and you were ranting on about Smith Rowe and how jammy I was.
This is unreal. Even the Spurs' third goal, because it was Son, you went absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy.
I celebrated
even though it was a 3-0, it's fun. You didn't celebrate the first goal like that.
I sang about Harry Kane. He's got to earn my love back, that
Whatever.
man. He's got to earn my love. I celebrated Lucas Moura because that man is an absolute hero. Remember his hat-trick? Remember him getting us to the Champions League final?
Well, listen.
What? In fact, if anyone deserves a blimmin' statue, never mind Divock Origi, Lucas Moura deserves a statue.
They've already made Divock's statue. That is already cast in stone. It's already.
What's even happened to him? He's injured, isn't he?
Yeah, probably. Knowing him, probably.
Oof.
United throwing caution to the wind. Newcastle for the first time in 94 minutes. Sitting back now. Sitting back. I feel like that Almiron chance was their chance to win it. They look a bit...
United are going to win this.
Me. Sancho's dazzling feet. Superb.
Oh,
it's a foul.
Kick.
That is a foul on the edge of the
box. It's offside.
Is he offside? Oh my goodness me.
They've got away with one.
Yeah. The referee, who looks like my granddad, look at him. How's he a linesman? Good Lord. Sancho. Oh, is he? Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. Cavani is offside there.
They've got away with one there because that was definitely a free kick.
And it was definitely Ronaldo territory, and you would not have been liking that.
I've got him! I'll take the points. He's not that highly owned.
Oh my God. Yes, he is, like 30%.
Not that it's going to affect my rank.
Oh dear. I 100% saw this game as an opportunity. We'll talk about our teams.
Yeah, that's why you're bitter.
I am bitter. Of course I am.
You thought this was your opportunity to get one over on me.
100%. Why would I not? Ronaldo captain and Dalot, and it's 1-1. What a joke. Unbelievable. Can't believe that's happened. In a week where your captain scored with the last kick before he was subbed off. Unbelievable. This ruined my free hit, this. I was having a good week. We'll talk about that in a second. I had a good week. Now I've had this from Captain Ronaldo. What an idiot. It is going to make people second guess now. People that have sold... Because there will be a lot of people that have sold Salah to fund Ronaldo for this week. And are planning to free hit in 22 in the big potential double game week. And possibly riding out that Leicester game.
Are you planning to free hit in the double game week? Or are you planning to use a different
chip? It's 1-1. It's free hit. It's full time. That's it. It's full time. It's 1-1. The captaincy on Ronaldo is absolutely in the mud. All he got tonight was a booking. Dalot gets a 2-pointer. Could have got an assist, but didn't because Cavani got the ball in at the second attempt. Oh, hello. There's now people on the pitch.
It's a child.
There's kids on the pitch. Goodness me, that needs to stop. Yeah, that's a disaster. For me as a free hitter this week, that is a disaster. Full time, it's 1-1. Newcastle with problems up front with Callum Wilson and Alan St Maximin both going off with injuries. But Cavani has rescued a point for Manchester United. A lethargic, unconvincing Manchester United, let's face it. At home to Burnley next game week, they have got a lot of improving to do. David De Gea, the cameras are on him right now. Good game, you have to say. Good game. A couple of really good saves in there. I'd be surprised if he doesn't get a bonus point or two, David De Gea, because without him...
I'll tell you.
They easily could have lost that game. Right, Sam, let's wrap this up. Let's turn the TV off and let's talk about our game week. So this is game week 19. Now, obviously, I put these...
Max with the 3, Varane with the 2, De Gea with 1.
De Gea with a bonus point. That does not surprise me.
Varane getting 2 surprises me.
That is a shocker. Yeah, unbelievable. So let's talk about your game week first. So in all, so this was before Ronaldo tonight. So just add 1 point to this because he's useless. Your overall game week points 51 minus 4, so 47. Your overall rank is probably not going to change too much, about 127k. A rank change of plus 3.7. So overall, in a week where you haven't played your free hit, that's all right. That's pretty good.
I said to you tonight, this week was going to be, you said you got to accept a red. I said I'll accept I think I'm all right.
You'd accept a grey dot.
The grey dot would have been fine, but to be honest, I would have taken a little red. But I'm very happy with this. The 2 transfers in that I made, Obviously, I did Salah and Watkins out. Obviously, Salah didn't play and Watkins didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Although could have, and I was very nervous watching that game.
He had an all right game against Chelsea, didn't he? Did an all right game. Yeah.
And I brought in, obviously, Son and captained him. That went well. And brought in Lacazette, who also did well. So
get in the comments, guys. Let us know your overall scores now for the game week. Game week 19 now done and dusted in the books. Let us know your scores, your net scores for the game week, because I think there's some difficult game weeks out there. I think there's some low scores. With that captaincy Ronaldo blank, there's a lot of low scores out there, I think. So tell me about... Oh, we've already spoken about your game week 20. It's a free hit.
So yes, I'll be free hitting next week. So obviously I've got 4 players in there. Ramsey and my 3 Arsenal players who can't play this week. 4 players out. Also other players that I don't really want to have playing. So like Brandon Williams, ideally I just want him on my bench as bench fodder. Sure. I don't want him in my starting 11, which is where he keeps finding himself. The same with Livramento. I don't want to play Livramento against Spurs. So I'm happy to sacrifice him. I don't either really want Bernardo Silva. I'd rather have another City asset. So a shake about for this game week feels like a really nice option, and then that means going into the doubles in 20 potential doubles anyway in 21 and 22. I can use my free transfer and probably take a -4 for 21 to get myself with the players that I really want, and I will be going Salahless in 21
against Chelsea
and hoping for a Rudiger clean sheet.
Well, let's see.
0-0.
Let's see what happens there. But overall, in a week where you didn't play your free hit, that is an absolutely fine game week. Absolutely fine game week. Here is my game week. So I did play the free hit. I've got to add... Oh, God, what is that? 2 for Dalot and 1 for Ronaldo. 2 for Ronaldo. So I've got to add 4 to that.
No, 1 for Ronaldo.
Well, he's my captain, isn't he? So double 1 will get me a 2.
Oh, yeah.
So 2 for Ronaldo.
So what is that, 62?
So what's that, 62 on the free hit?
What is it you said last night?
What?
There's 12 points between us.
Oh, just that game tonight, that has ruined my game week, because I honestly thought that captaincy Ronaldo and Dalot, I thought looked pretty good for the clean sheet. All the stats were there, all the underlying stats about how bad Newcastle are defensively. Get Ronaldo. That's just a shocker that's happened tonight, honestly. But anyway, I can't dwell on that. The good thing about that for me is that Ronaldo isn't going to appear in my actual FPL team next week. I'm going to do something else other than I was thinking about, if he performs tonight, if he bangs, I've somehow got to find a way to get from Richardson to Ronaldo, which is going to be near impossible, right? But now I'm actually not quite as buzzing to do Ronaldo in for Burnley as
Ronaldo.
Something like that. I don't know how I would have done it. But anyway, 50...
So what are you going to do?
Well, let me talk it through my team first. So my overall rank's 175. It might have gone up a little bit after tonight, after the 4 points. I doubt it. It's probably about the same. But overall, a rank change of 30%. So going from 270 up to 175 is good.
Successful free hit.
I would say that's a successful free hit, and it largely comes down to one man. It largely comes down to the main man, Lucas Moura. Absolutely
legend, he is.
Unbelievably good performance. And I must admit, even as late as Boxing Day lunchtime, about an hour before the deadline, because I didn't leave it until the last 2 minutes, but an hour before the deadline, I was looking at Bowen versus Moura. I was very, very split between the two. And in the end, similar to you actually, the game was announced on. I thought, well, Palace don't want this game. They're not going to have a team. They're going to have no first 11 here. So why don't I go all out on Spurs and have Son and Moura? And I didn't want to have Harry Kane, so I wanted to have Ronaldo instead. So I went Son and Moura. And actually, of the three of them, it's actually Lucas that came out on top. Had a really good game. 2 goals and an assist, 3 bonus points. And now I think I'm going to be looking at him maybe for the longer term. More on that a bit later on. De Bruyne with the 7 is okay. It's fine. Wish I'd have picked Sterling. Wish I'd have picked somebody else. But listen, it's Man City. It is what it is. Then the Foden thing, that's the only slight annoying thing in my head, was that there was a bit of news that Foden could be benched. And that was a few minutes before the deadline. I was trying to get into the site. The site wasn't available. I thought, well, it's probably just rumour. I won't change Foden to whoever. Who would I have changed him to? I don't know. I probably would have done...
Bowen.
I probably would have had Bowen, yeah. I sat here before and just thought, well, I would have had Mahrez then, wouldn't I?
But you wouldn't have. You wouldn't have got Mahrez.
Hand on heart, I don't think I would have had Mahrez. I don't think so. I probably would have had Bowen. I would have done a last minute. If the site would have allowed me to do Foden to Bowen, I would have done it. So the site crashing has cost me, 4 or 5 points. It's not the end of the world. But De Bruyne getting the early goal, and then so if De Bruyne scored the first goal of 6, and I didn't know any of the other scorers, at 90 minutes I'd be rubbing my hands for like a De Bruyne hat-trick. So the fact he only got 1 goal is a little bit disappointing. I was kind of hoping for a bit more since he got off the mark first, but never mind. 7 is still okay, given he's low owned. I would not have had Lacazette if I didn't play the free hit. So the double-digit haul was nice there, and I would not have had. Would I have had Son? I possibly would have, because I probably would have. I was so keen to have Ronaldo for this game week that I probably would have done the Salah sacrifice similar to you and got Son. Probably would have done the same thing, yeah.
But then you wouldn't have had Lacazette.
But I would not have had Lacazette, absolutely true. And I would definitely not have had Moura, not De Bruyne. The other thing that my free hit has allowed me to avoid was the Reece James own goal. Because I had basically a coin toss between, shall I keep Alonso or shall I keep James? Now, the reality is the net of that is 1 point. So it's just it's a non-conversation, really. But when the Reece James own goal went in, I felt like that was a mini win for some bizarre reason.
I'm surprised you kept any Chelsea defenders on your wall.
I did think that. But then, listen, I was thinking Diaz, I was thinking others. I didn't really know who to go to. And I thought, well, if they do keep a clean sheet, a lot of other FPL managers have got at least 1, if not 2. And if the clean sheet comes in, I want something to hedge against that. I've got to be a bit safe. I'm going out there with Moura and Martinelli and De Bruyne. I've got to just hedge against that clean sheet. So I thought, well, I'll go Alonso. So in the end, overall, I'm reasonably happy with it. I'm a bit annoyed Ben Davies didn't play, but then it is what it is. I don't think that's a big problem. I think he comes back in for that Spurs game for the next game.
Well, you better do.
I think he does. I think from what I've heard, it's the tail end of COVID. He's over it now. He'll be back for the next game.
Yes, I agree. But also think Reguilon and Royale to a lesser extent, but they look really good going forward, those two.
Yeah.
So there is
Reguilon impressed me, actually.
Yeah, he impressed me.
Yeah.
So he is one that will probably come in on my free hit, to be honest.
Yeah, I like the look of him a lot. He might be one that I bring in my actual team, to be fair.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about what I want to do with the Chelsea defence, because the fixtures for them is Brighton at home next, so probably don't want to sell ahead of that.
Well, I scored a couple this week.
But after that, it looks atrocious for Chelsea. It's like Liverpool and it's all sorts of terrible games. Then they've got blanks and Super Cup duty and all that sort of stuff coming up. So I do not want
1 or 2.
I definitely don't want 2, but maybe I don't want any Chelsea defence. More on that maybe as the game weeks progress. But overall, yeah, good. But it was one man that changed it. It was Lucas that changed it.
And
no doubt about it.
A legend.
Because had I gone Bowen over Moore, I'd be sitting here going, I've wasted that free hit a little bit. Outside of Lacazette, but a lot of other people had him. But Lucas Moura was absolutely the one. Got me a sensational rank. That's about 100k just having Lucas Moura.
The question is, what does your team now look like for next week?
Well, my team for next week, we kind of touched on that a little bit just as the United game was on. It's not that wonderful because I've got no Emile Smith-Rowe, I've got no Rafinha, I've got no Ramsdale, and I've got no Ollie Watkins, and I've got Richardson as well up front. So I'm missing 5. So the Arsenal game being off, I think, is a massive swing in the benefit of the free hitters in 20. And those of us that have already used it in 19 have got a problem now because we've got at least 2 probably Arsenal players.
You can't use it in back-to-back game weeks.
No, I can't, and nor would I don't think either. I've got to the way I've seen this free hit is, yes, it's been a relative success. Yes, I've had a nice rank rise, but what I've got to do is I've got to accept that next game week is going to be difficult, and there's going to be players like you that are going to play the free hit and probably have a really great game week. So what I've got to hope is that over these 2 game weeks I net out somewhere positive.
Yeah,
somewhere positive. But let's see. Thoughts on moves for next week?
Well, for tomorrow.
For tomorrow, moves for tomorrow. Again, won't be doing anything tonight. Will not be making any transfers. Be keeping an eye on the news.
What time is it tomorrow?
I will not also be leaving it until the last minute. I will be. Let me see. It's
I'm just going to look
3 o'clock kickoff. Crystal Palace versus Norwich and Southampton versus Spurs. Actually, it's 3 games at 3 o'clock on Tuesday. So
it's going to be 1:30 again.
1:30 again. Do not leave your changes until 1:28, guys. Honestly, it's not going to change that much.
Oh, I didn't realise it was on Amazon. We can watch them all.
They're all on Amazon in the UK. They're all on Amazon. Yeah, absolutely. So
love that.
I've got to think about tonight what I might do. But changes, probably Smith-Rowe. Because he's got the blank.
Yeah.
He's not in the team. The fixtures are difficult. It's Man City after the blank. Then it's Spurs. etc., etc. It's probably Smith Rowe, and I might go to Mora. I might go to Mora.
You love him.
If I want to just do one transfer, it'll be Mora. However, I have looked at doing Reece James down to Ben Davis.
Oh.
And if I do that...
Hang on, what is all this Spurs love?
Are you doing all right? What's not to like? And you've got Southampton away next. And if I do that transfer and bring some money out of one of my Chelsea defenders, which is part of my longer-term strategy anyway, I can then afford Son rather than Moura, which is my preferred pick. Hand on heart, that's my preferred pick, is Son over Lucas Moura. Listen, what a guy. 17 points. Absolutely love him this week. But I still think Son is the one to have. So that's what I'll do. I'll either keep my 2 Chelsea defenders and have Moura.
So a -4?
I am going to be looking at a -4. Yeah, and I'm probably going to do something about the goalkeeper situation.
So a -8?
No, -4 including the goalkeeper change. But I'm probably going to keep Ramsdale. I'm probably going to upgrade Steele to Sanchez.
Steele to Sanchez and Smith Rowe
to Lucas. Probably.
But then, are you building in another transfer in the future because you want to go Lucas to Son?
Probably.
So is it not worth the -4 now?
Yeah, maybe. But then I want to keep the 2 Chelsea boys for Brighton. Plus, they've got a game. At the moment, they've got a game. So it wouldn't make sense. Given I've got 5 players not playing, I've got 10 playing. Why would I take one out that's playing a game? And not only a game, a good game as well. Brighton at home.
I mean, I did that this week. I had to get Ollie Watkins who had a game.
So it
wasn't fun.
So it's not impossible that I take maybe Rafinha out as well, because again he's blanking. Although the fixtures for Leeds look a bit better if they come back, but Leeds are not looking good. So do I do Rafinha and Smith Rowe for, I don't know, some real cheapie and Son, or Moura and somebody else of that sort of price bracket? I don't know. Lots and lots to be discussed.
In the next 12 hours.
In the next 12 hours, we've got to do it pretty quickly. So there we go. Those are our teams. I've made a step change this week. I'm expecting to regress a little bit next game week, starting tomorrow, but I'm hoping that nets out at net positive over the 2 game weeks. Let's have a chat, Sam, about what we are... Not that one. No, not that one either. Oh, goodness me. That one. What are we doing? What are we up to this week? I was on the podcast this morning for Game Week 20, so if you haven't checked that out yet, wherever you get your podcast, check out the official FPL podcast. It was myself, Tom Williams, Kelly Sommers and Duncan Alexander all on the podcast this week, so go check that out. And I believe you're on a bit later on this week as well.
Yeah, I'm on Friday morning ahead of Game Week 21.
21,
so
yeah.
You can catch us both on the official podcast this week. Lisa's already out. And we'll be recording ours bright and early on Friday morning, so that'll be out sort of probably about Friday lunchtime, I suspect, ahead of the Game Week 21 deadline.
Very good. All right, guys.
So many deadlines.
Thank you for joining us this evening. Thanks for sticking with us on the watch along. Ronaldo captainers, unlucky. Well, not unlucky. He was rubbish, wasn't he? Possibly deserved to see red. So therein...
Do you know, it would have made my life so much easier if he'd have seen red.
Well, it would have made a lot of people's lives easier.
I wouldn't have had to worry about him on my free hit at all. I could have just gone, good riddance, in you come Hazard.
No doubt about it. Well, there we go. There finishes one of the most chaotic and tumultuous game weeks. Is that a word? Tumultuous? It is now. One of the most chaotic game weeks in the season so far. I don't like it. I like being boring. I like Grandad FPL. I like 1 game a week. I like listening to all my podcasts throughout the week. Everybody plays at the weekend. I like routine. I like regularity. I don't like all this FPL chaos, Sam. I don't like it.
What are you going to be like when Salah's gone to AFCON?
It's going to be a nightmare, isn't it? It's going to be a nightmare. Guys, thanks for joining us tonight. Leave us a like before you go. If you're not yet subscribed to the channel, we'd love for you to consider subscribing if you enjoyed the watch along tonight. We'll see you on Sunday night, 8:30, I guess. I don't know. What day are we on? We're on Monday. Will we see them next Sunday?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why not? Yeah, why not?
Yeah, because actually next Sunday... Hang on.
Get updates in a row. I don't know
what's happening. Yeah, next Sunday we'll only have the 1 game left on by the time we stream, which is the Manchester United game. So yes, we'll be back in our normal Sunday 8:30 slot.
We'll be back, and it all starts again tomorrow as Jamie Taylor in the chat quite rightly says, guys, leave us a like and a subscribe. We'll see you then. Cheers.
Bye guys.